good viewers? Welcome back to the channel. If you've missed my last few videos, it's all good. You can always go back and watch them. But here I am back with a new video. I am going to address the people that I address sometimes on this channel when it comes to certain things. And this time it's about something a little more different. So I've noticed that whenever there is something that tends to be bad that stars a female star as the main character, they tend to be all over that, right? They tend to be all over it. They go, oh, wow, this sucks because nobody wants this and it's woke propaganda because da 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 da. But when it's successful, even if it may not be a box office smash, even though it just came out a week ago or it's been out for about a month, and when their box office successes compared to their budget, right, they have nothing to say. They kind of stay quiet, they stay in the corner, and they just are very much who they are, which is people who hide behind a microphone or something like that just to push their very, very toxic views on things. And these two movies recently that my last two movies I reviewed are very, very, very good films. And I just want people to understand that there are those people out there who will make any type of progress they can to destroy something like this or absolutely draw no attention to it because it defeats their narrative. And those two films are The Housemaid, which is a box office success, by the way, and that is a good thing for Sydney Sweeney. I did a video about that recently, and Send Help, which is my most recent video, was starring Rachel McAdams. And you guys know, if you've seen that video, I love Rachel McAdams. So it just kills me how they will literally find anything to say. Remember when Ironheart was coming out and they were shitting all over Ironheart? Oh, Marvel didn't market this film. They didn't market it, which is a little questionable in my opinion. But they were so hyped, right? Like they were like, oh, they didn't market it, and it was because they're trying to hide this project because they don't want people to watch it because it's so bad. How do you know? Like, how do you know, bro? Like, tell me how you know. And then there's like topics where, let's just say, Captain Marvel came out in 2019, and in hindsight, Captain Marvel is fine. Like, it's not like my favorite MCU movie, and it was a box office smash, even though they were already shitting on it, right? Like, it just seemed like it was kind of like the thing to do because, like when Black Panther came out and Captain Marvel came out, all these dudes, a certain demographic of men, not going to point out the color of them, just had to hate on it. They just had to find a group of people on the internet. They cluttered together and they hate on it together as a group of individuals. This happened last year with Superman. It happened last year again with the Supergirl trailer. Tends to happen anytime there is a person of color or a woman leading the film. And it just seems to bother them for some reason, and it just doesn't make sense. But these last two movies, they have been very quiet. They have been very, very, very quiet. Like The Housemaid, oh, Sydney Sweeney's got another failure on the way. And, turns out it's a big box office success because it didn't cost that much to make. I believe the budget was 35 million, and it is currently at 266 million at the box office. That would be a big success compared to the budget. But they're very silent about it. They are very silent about it. And that's where the questionability comes in. Now, Rachel McAdams, on the other hand, I believe Send Help cost around the same, maybe a little more, like 40 million. And I believe it made about 75% of its budget back in the opening weekend because it didn't cost that much. And I think it opened to 28 million. I think it just crossed 30 million like on Tuesday. It has another weekend in the box office to really rock out. Now, I think it's only got about a week beyond this to really do what it needs to do because Crime 101 comes out on the 13th, and you best believe I'm going to do a review about that. But yeah, it's just something to think about, right? A little tangent I had to go on, but it's something to think about. Why y'all be so quiet when something like this happens? Like, why are y'all so quiet? Like, shouldn't y'all be on, your little lives talking shit, making it sound like Sydney Sweeney's career was over, which some of you did, by the way. A good amount of you were like, oh, Sydney Sweeney's rise and fall, or Sydney Sweeney's fall from grace, or Sydney Sweeney's career decline. I'm like, The Housemaid would show people do like Sydney Sweeney. It just depends on the film. Now, Christy actually looked really good. I just didn't see it. And I'm actually more inclined to see it now if I ever can, because I found out some things, like apparently a lot of the boxing scenes, she wanted to do them for real. So she's actually getting punched in the face. That's her real blood, apparent stuff like that. Like I want to see that. Like I want to see her commit to the role. She looked very committed from the trailers and stuff that I've seen. So I'm like, I'd like to see her hard work be appreciated. So I do feel bad that I didn't get to see that in theaters. It was just a real busy time for me. But everybody's saying, "Oh, Americana and all those other things are all box office failures," which is very true. Now this is a success. And now they're quiet. Now they ain't got nothing to say. You know what I mean? And for most, from what I know, nobody seems to dislike Rachel McAdams, so this may not be so much of a heavy thing. But it's just nice to see that it is a very clear sign that women actually can decide the box office if they so be it. Remember Frozen, Moana? Those were mostly women audiences. Frozen 2, Moana 2, mostly women audiences. They're both box office smashes. Zootopia 2 might be a little bit of a mix because everyone likes Zootopia. I haven't met anyone who doesn't like Zootopia. No, I'm lying. I met one person. And then you got, the fact that, like, whatever the next Disney movie is, it could be decided by everyone. And Housemaid and was definitely decided by the female audience. Same with It Ends With Us. That was also mostly decided by the female audience. So if you take a movie like that, they're very, very thorough films. You take someone who's good at performing, like Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney, just for the male gaze. Let's be honest, but she's nice to look at. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I wanted to see. I was like, I want to see Sydney Sweeney going beyond saying in this joint, and she was, and I was excited. But then it was actually really good outside of that whole thing. It was actually a solid film. Sin Help was just violent, crazy, and awesome, which is what I expect from Sam Raimi because he's just that bull for real. And it just seems like y'all were just so quiet about it. There was just no real videos after that. And it seems like y'all are running out of steam, or I mean, it seems like y'all are running out of bullshit to say. But y'all will never run out of that. That's y'all specialty. That's how generate people. That's how y'all get y'all views. That's how y'all get y'all steam. Y'all talk a lot of shit, and y'all don't even be knowing what y'all be talking about most of the time. Sometimes y'all be right, but when it comes to these two films, y'all kind of quiet. Now, I would personally like to see if Send Help makes at least 100 million. I don't think it will, but I do think it could make between 75 to 80 million just to kind of double its budget. Um, it's hard to tell because it's still February and January, February, outside of Black Panther and Deadpool and like Just Mercy and Bad Boys for Life. It's kind of hard to see where those type of films go because those four films are outliers in the box office compared to past years. You know what I mean? Like those movies are outliers. So we're really not going to start seeing a box office blow up until maybe March or April. That's normal. And to be honest with you, that just kind of became a thing a few years ago. It really wasn't until like May when you started really seeing those box office numbers explode like that. That's what's called blockbuster season from May to August because that was when most of the movie money was generated. And it kind of became a thing that even in February, now we can go from February to August and we'll make a fuck ton of money. And then, November, December, which is Thanksgiving and Christmas season, everybody's running to the theaters to see what's coming out. You ever notice November, December, May, August, those are the biggest money making times for theaters. It just is what it is. That's why you always had a Star Wars movie on Christmas, or you always had an MCU movie in May, or you always had something in June, July. It's just like some of the biggest Pixar movies are June. Some other big movies from Marvel, Pixar, or something like that is in July. Those are the 3 big months. Guardians of the Galaxy was an outlier because it came out in August and made over $800 million. So what I'm saying is like if you're taking something like these movies that come out in the most lower ends of times of box office success and they still manage to see some box office success, why can't you just acknowledge it? Oh, right, because they don't star a white dude as the main star. They don't star a white guy. Now, if these movies were white guy led and the white guy did everything and he saved the world, and oh, they'd be talking shit. They'd be so happy. They'd be like, it's anti woke and it's against the woke ideology, and that's what we want to see. You know what I mean? And they'd be so hammered down, fist on the book, so hype, yo. So what I'm saying is to say is the fact that y'all are being quiet just kind of shows y'all ass a little bit. Like y'all kind of show who y'all really are. Y'all really is kind of goofy. Y'all goofy to me. Like y'all could be like, saying, "Hey, go see Send Help," and maybe your audience will be smart enough to not be dumb to go actually see the movie because Send Help isn't based off anything. This is an original movie. The Housemaid is at least a book, But Send Help is an original situation made by a director who wanted to make something new. And y'all still won't push for it. Y'all bitch and cry about no creativity in Hollywood. Y'all bitch, gripe, and moan about how everything is just something, something, something. But then when something hits the screen, neither you or the people who don't do what y'all do go see the movie. But I'm talking about y'all because y'all tend to actually have some kind of pull. Like if y'all say this movie's woke, don't go see it. Of course, your sheep of an audience are going to say, "I'm not going to go see this," even if you guys are wrong, because you guys be wrong. Y'all be mad wrong. I can go back to some Thunderbolts reviews from y'all and tell you that you were wrong. So, and especially when Sinners came out, y'all ain't had nothing to say about Sinners. In fact, the drinker had to put Sinners' review on his B channel with a third of the followers on that channel than he does on his main channel. If you really like those type of films and you like the movie, you would have put the review on your A plus channel with your 2 million subscribers, but you put it on your B channel with less than a million, less than 600,000 subscribers. Got an issue with that. Y'all play goofy, but I like the game. You see what I'm saying? It's smart. You might lose some followers if you let them know you actually enjoy black movies. You might lose some followers, and you most definitely will lose some followers if you say you enjoy the film with a female star. So that's all I gotta say. Y'all drive me crazy, but just to let y'all know, I'm telling y'all these two movies are worth the watch. And I'm on here to tell y'all that just like Birdman and the other guys, I'm not letting this shit fly either. So that being said, thank y'all for joining. If you made it this far, leave a comment down below how you guys feel about the topic. I will see y'all in the next one.